I was so excited to see this film because I actually attended Girls State when I was in high school in California. Yes. So I was so curious to see how the boys did it. Ours was a little less intense, a lot more singing was involved, but nonetheless, still very fun. So, talk to me about how you selected these boys to follow.
Well, that was the real, I think, art and science of the movie was to find these extraordinary young men who are the heartbeat of the movie. We canvassed the entire state of Texas. We interviewed hundreds of boys, and you're looking for a needle in a haystack, but you know it when you find it, right? These boys. When Robert started talking about trading Bitcoin and showed us his cowboy boots, and then told us he'd been a page in the U.S. Senate, we thought you're cast. I mean, it was kind of obvious, right? When you meet them and they're special. Um, and we were excited that they're all different politically, and I think the impetus to make the film was to find a space, as you know, you went to Girls State. It's where people from different political backgrounds they get together in a room and they actually talk to each other. And we don't find that in many places in America today.
And talk to me about the process because it's a week long camp, so that doesn't give you any extra time to shoot. So what did that look like? Making sure that you're getting the core of the camp, but at the same time understanding where these individuals are coming
Um, this was a challenging project. We're used to making films over a long period of time with a very small crew, and this was a very, very large crew over a very short period of time. If we didn't capture what we needed to capture, we would not have had a movie. And so we spent a very long, very quick period of time casting the film and finding those right people who we thought would do well in the program. But you still don't know if they will do well. So there was a risk involved, but to our great luck, they all had a great experience there, and we followed that. But we also put together a very A team of people to help us film. We had 7 shooters running around the campus at UT Austin in 100-degree weather with 30-pound cameras. So this was no small feat, but we are used to the maelstrom. That's what we love about what we do for a living.
from? Well, and one of the things I thought was really cool is you had kind of like a breakout room or an area where the main characters could go and reflect on what they were seeing, and they were so honest, and there was so much truth that came out of that. So it was really fun to see. But I wonder how they'll feel about about it watching it back.
I think they surprised themselves and they surprised us as they went through that journey. And we did grab them and sit them down on a couch during that intense week just to kind of get their thought process. And what they shared with us was kind of shocking sometimes. And, really, I think brought out their complexity and the issues that they were struggling with, which are the big questions of like, how to be honest, to keep their integrity, to try to find, one of our young men. I won't spoil it, but he lies about his politics, his views, in order to get votes. And we see grown-up politicians do that too. We didn't know he was doing that until he told us. So I think it's the film kind of lets us in on their thinking. We can see what they're doing on stage, but to kind of hear their thinking process was a really interesting dimension of the film.
Yeah, and I loved that you had that you addressed the topics and that you had diversity in there too. We see minorities, we see the quiet individual that finds his voice and is able to give these great speeches. We see questioning whether your approach is the best approach, and then I love that aspect. What's more important, to remain true to who you are and have that carried out, or to win? Because if you don't win, you can't carry out anything. So I think it poses a lot of interesting questions to our political landscape currently.
That's right. I mean, and I think also the trajectory of Stephen as someone who was, as you say, quieter in the beginning, um, becoming, finding his voice. I think also watching someone who's a little outside be able to summon the sort of better angels of everybody in a room who have a lot of different points of view, but they really did all support him. That was really one of the great moments in making this film and hopefully in watching it.
I think you know this from throwing yourself into girl state, but I think we need to remind ourselves that democracy is not a spectator sport. And I think that we can learn about democracy in a textbook, but it's not a substitute for really kind of testing yourself and in a process in which you learn by doing it. And I think this program showed us that it can be really it can be really valuable. And I think that there are lessons both in the program and what we see play out in the film for those of us who are struggling to understand how we've gotten to a place of such intense polarization, and hopefully in the film a kind of a glimmer of opportunity and a path forward that is healthier.